Hey everyone, today's video is gonna be different. Blonde hair, dude voice, you know shit's gonna go down. It's not gonna be a magic video. So if you're looking for like your usual magic, like I don't know, strategy and glitzy shit, like not today. Just back out, down, dude, whatever the fuck you need to do, just get out of here. Today's gonna be me dumping all the shit I'm discontent about, and I'm just like kind of stuffing all these bad feelings in, and I just have to like puke this shit out. I don't know who this is for, aside from myself. If you want to listen to it, you can. If you don't want to, just wait till next week. But this is gonna just be a straight shot. I'm gonna upload this shit and see what happens. Basically what happened today was 8 Korean women murdered by a fucking asshole who objectified them to the point where he called them temptations, according to the sheriff, and just had to get rid of his temptations, and he was like a good boy, and like it's a bad day for him or whatever, and like the fucking narrative is set up like that dude is set up to just fucking walk after killing like 8 women, and just like the other fucking kid, like Kyle, whatever, written whatever bullshit at the protest, like he's not out yet. But you know he's gonna fucking get away scot free, just like that other fucking like rapist kid who raped this woman and was like, and everyone's like, oh, but like who doesn't rape a little during like college or whatever, and like he does community service for like a fucking half a year, and boom, he's like fucking going to lawyer school now or whatever. I can't remember his fucking name, but. But I know, like, there's no fucking justice to be had here. This kid is gonna walk. That everyone's setting up for it. He's got like a GoFundMe just like ready to go right now, where his fucking like all these fucking moms are gonna be like, oh, he's a good boy and like killing like Asian hookers or whatever. Like who doesn't like kill a couple Asians every now and then when they have a bad day? Like that dude is gonna fucking walk, and that just makes me so fucking mad. And like, why does it make me fucking mad? Because they're anti-Asian hate crimes have been on the rise, and racism against Asians have always been like a thing, but no one ever really talks about it because it's not quite as trendy, and it's never really been a thing that stuck with like our normal like conversations of injustices and like systematic oppressions. Like it's different, right? It's like there's different degrees of it. Obviously, the things that I as an Asian experience in terms of like racism and like prejudice is very different from like someone else who literally will get fucking shot by the police, right? Like I don't have to worry about that. They do, but and that's probably why we don't really talk about it, because the things I face is like someone calling me fucking Jackie Chan and they're like 9 years old. That actually happened, and I was like, great, they're off to a great start. I've had people do like fucking like kung fu sounds or whatever when they see me, and that's just living in this city. You have a bunch of different cultures. You can have some assholes, and they're gonna have to like talk to you that way. And during when the pandemic started, like I also had my fucking rise in anti-Asian like fucking prejudice. When I was going home one day, I remember I had a face mask on. This before the face mask mandate was a thing. A group of kids hopped on and like saw me, and like I fucking saw it in their eyes. They were like thinking like, oh, this is fucking COVID guy or whatever. And this is back when COVID was still like not really a thing. Like, is it really in the US? Like shit like that. Like 1 or 2 cases, and they're like, oh, it's gonna be fine. And there was a moment where I was like, am I gonna get my shit kicked in? Am I gonna wake up at a hospital or some shit? I'm gonna get knocked the fuck out because there's like fucking 12 of them. I can like fight one, I can't fight 12. I'm not actually It Man. And thankfully they took the route of just like being real assholes and like making fun of me and like backing away all dramatically, like, oh my god, look at that. Like, thankfully I didn't get hurt, right? There's another time, this is a little bit after the stay at home mandate kind of happened. I was in a little store, like really fucking tight aisles, and this white lady comes up, old white lady, and she's like, she tells me this sob story out of nowhere, like, my husband has like diabetes, and I need his prescription medicine, or else like he's gonna die and shit like that. I'm like, yeah, like I'll move for you. Like, you don't need to tell me this. Just ask. So I moved. She walked by. All cool. She gets her medicine, and as she's leaving, she goes to another aisle, and there's like another lady there who's not Asian, with like a fucking puffy sweater, and this lady literally like squeezes past this other person, and I was like, oh, okay, nice. You use social distancing as a way to be racist. That's fine. That's cool. Maybe she's probably acting out of like fear that Asians have the flu, the kung flu, and she just didn't want to give it to her husband and shit like that, like bigoted, ignorant shit. And that has happened before. So I'm not really super mad about that. It just kind of happens, kind of sucks. What I am mad about is this other thing, which is not really related to Asian hate crimes. Is there's a house near where I live, and this is during the summer protests, where people were having signs on their windows was in support of Black Lives Matter, which is great. But this one sign has Black Lives Matter, and underneath it, there was a thing that says Asian silence equals violence. And that didn't sit right with me. I didn't understand what the fuck they're trying to say here. And maybe it's like because Asians don't speak up as much, that it was a request for Asians to stand up along with other minority communities and fight the systems of oppression and injustices together. And I'm down with that. I'm down with that. I'm in support of that desire. However, something was not quite right about it. So I see this fucking sign all the time. So I walk by this sign one day, and I see the person who put up the sign, and it's a white guy, and God, that fucking set me off, because it's like, I understand you're woke, and I understand where you're trying to get at here, but do you know how like fucking silent we have to be? Like why are you putting this shit on me? Like, why are you putting this shit on our community? Like, you don't think I get fucking prejudiced, and now you're fucking saying like, oh, don't be quiet, dude, or else like you're in support of racism. Like, it's not like literally my job to do this. I should do it. I should support it, and as everyone should. But they're, as most Asians do, we're told to be like fucking quiet and just kind of go with it and don't cause trouble. So like you think like we want to be quiet. Like you think like I love being silent and just like letting people be racist and be like, oh, it's cool, dude, I'm just gonna keep like going the way I go without like tweeting about it or whatever. Like, that shit set me off, and this is kind of gonna be like a theme of what I'm gonna talk about a lot today, is like this idea of like Asian silence. And it's just fucking annoying when it's like someone else like putting that shit on you. Like, fuck off. So this is gonna tie into like the CDH content creation shit, because it's very similar. It's a very similar thing that I experience. I work really hard, and like everyone knows, CDH is like the most vocal fucking niche there is in Magic. Like, there is the proportion of like active players to the volume of noise we make is like, it's like off the charts compared to everyone else. And I know this, and it comes from like a history, and it's not a long history either, like what, fucking 6 years of like just other Commander players kind of taking their discontent out on like this other group. Like they fucking blame CEDH for like everything under the sun, like shit getting expensive, shit getting banned, like, oh, fuck CEDH players, they don't play Magic, like they don't play Commander the way it's supposed to be played, like all that shit. And then when a like an EDH player, any EDH player really, like this is a whole different thing about like power discrepancy that won't be fixed easily, is if like when you come from like CDH and you like kind of play powerful cards and people get mad at you, like you kind of have to like shut up. You kind of have to like, from a place of like being always on defensive minority, you kind of have to like chill the fuck out and like present, because you're like, everyone who plays CDH is like representative of the whole fucking format of like 20 people. So everyone kind of has to be like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna be super super polite, explain the position to you, and if I get mad, or if I like want to express myself the way I want to express myself, like, oh dude, it's another fucking pub stomper who's like so fucking rude and shit like that. And like, this isn't to say that we shouldn't be polite. We actually should. We should take the effort, like the conscious effort, to just try to internalize some of these issues, some of what they're saying, and either like not engage them, or find another way to discuss it without being aggressive. Like I think that is like a pretty key thing. And I think overall the the divide between the communities is like getting smaller. And thing like I think most players are starting to understand like CDH players are just other commander players. They just play at a different tempo or play other different strategies, or the intent behind the game is different. Like I think that part is pretty clear now. It's definitely not the same environment as when like fucking Paradox Engine was banned. Like you weren't around for fucking Paradox Engine ban. That shit was the worst. Every fucking person out there was like, oh, CEDH Urza caused Paradox Engine to be banned because like people are so like fucking stupid playing those stupid broken decks, and most CEDH players were like, we don't need Paradox Engine. We have Thassa's Oracle Console. What are you talking about? And it's just like that bitterness from like all those different discussions, just like being dragged out on every fucking issue there is on Magic. Like as soon as anything bad happens, there are players who love to point fucking fingers at CDH. Like, though this card is expensive because CDH. Look at how CDH is causing like our card game to be so unaffordable and shit like that, and like all CDH is reducing like creativity, and like I just want to play, I want to express myself, but like CDH players are coming in here and like kind of telling me what to do, and while I'm making this impression kind of in jest, it is the issues that they're expressing are coming from like a valid place. It just fucking sucks when I'm just playing CDH and I kind of have to be like a fucking representative of a format or something. Like I have to be quiet, I have to be nice, I have to be polite. Not that those things shouldn't automatically be defaults, but like God forbid if I just fucking go off on someone because they were looking for a fight. They are trying to like use CDH as a platform to clout farm, to get more clicks, to write like to use CDH to like write an article about it that's super shitty so they can get clicks and get money out of like in a group that's already like fucking dogged on all the time. Like God forbid I fucking like actually express how I feel about it and like fight back and shit like that. Then like, oh man, Rebel, like God, can you shut up for a little bit? Like, oh, you really aren't doing yourself any favors. Like, suck it in, suck all this shit in. This is basically like my experience is like, whenever there's all this really shitty shit just like everywhere. Like fucking like I have to be nice, I have to like be quiet, and then when something bad happens, I just like, oh, let me take the time to explain it to you. In a way that you would like, and if you don't like it, then I'm sorry. And this also is like compounded because I'm fucking trans. So this newsflash, I'm a fucking trans person, and as you can imagine, being trans on the internet kind of sucks sometimes because there are people out there or assholes out there who are willing to, or just like hungry to like jump on opportunities to like dog on you, and that's fine. Like it's not like I didn't expect it. I was raised on the internet. You just kind of like expect that shit to happen. Like you don't have to be trans, you could like be anything. Like someone's gonna dog on you for it, and I kind of expected that. But I remember the first time that shit happened, I went on CDH TV's like interview thing with Mons, had a great time. I remember there was a comment that was something along the lines of like, I'm not gonna view this, or like puking or something like that, and like I thought I was ready for that shit. I thought I was thick-skinned for that shit, but like something about it just made me like so upset, and it's not just like about being like, it's not just like being hurt, but it's afterwards. Like, who do I talk to? Do I go on my Discords and then kind of like ruin their day, like while they're memeing like seasons past and shit? Do I come in and be like, oh, this guy said some transphobic thing to me, now I feel bad, can you guys support me? Like that's what was going in my mind. Like, God, maybe I should just like take it. I should take it, and I had no idea where to go. I had no idea where to vent this and talk to about, because I don't want to like be a burden on anyone. And this is like a pretty big fucking thing for me. And this still happens when, after going on CDH TV's thing, I always worry that when I go on any channel, public, like when you see my face, it's gonna invite a certain type of attention of just assholes. And I'm gonna also force the host or the channel into a discussion that they might not be ready for or just didn't account to have. So for example, when I show up on the 99, we have to talk about pronouns now. We have to talk about, also I'll just deal with all the other followers that used to follow the channel but are just turned out to be assholes. And it's not like Patrick has an issue with it, or just my host in general. Like, everyone is very accommodating, very supportive, but I feel hella guilty whenever I show up on that shit. I have to force that shit on them and make them like deal with it when all they're trying to do is just make content and like have fun, right? And here I am, my very existence being on those fucking videos like invites these assholes, and it invites them to have these hard conversations that like they just weren't ready for. Like, and I feel guilty that like they're just making magic and suddenly out of nowhere they have to talk about like pronouns and like all these other things. And I'm very appreciative that like they're so supportive and nothing but love for them, but like I feel fucking guilty, and this happens on anything I show up on. And the other thing with these fucking comments is how I personally deal with them. And the way I deal with it, because I'm showing up on other people's channels, is I don't want to be aggressive and I don't want to create conflict. Sounds familiar? And also, I come from a place where I'm hoping that if I can engage them in a way that's pleasant, perhaps they might change their thinking. They might if when I take their thinly veiled attacks or attempts at being transphobic, like when people say like, why is her arm so long? Like, asshole, you know why. And then I make a joke back, like I played off like a joke, and this is a pretty good one actually, where specifically on that one, like, why her arm so long? I said it's because I always reach out. It's from how many times I reach over to count dockside like treasures. Like, it's a pretty good joke. But when I do things like that, I feel guilty because I know I'm not pushing back directly on that bigotry. What I'm doing, I might be enabling this shit. I'm trying to take the easy way out of making everyone happy and making everyone pleasant and not causing a fuss, when reality, I might just be enabling this person, and they're like, haha, okay, I'm gonna go make fun of the trans person, and I'm not doing like my community any fucking favors here. So, whew. So that's a lot of just things that I think about, and to make this, I guess, a little more pleasant and optimistic, I am very appreciative of our community. I think our community is surprisingly like very supportive. I always assumed that when I would like reveal myself in the manner I want to, that there was going to be a lot more assholes out there just like doing their usual like dog whistles and shit. But no, the CDH community is extremely supportive. When I finally reached out and like opened up about that one time I got hurt, everyone just fucking like jumped, like was ready to be like, all right, we're going to war. Who the fuck's at this? We're gonna find them. And like like jokes, obviously, no violence. But everyone was so supportive, and it made me feel so comfortable to be able to like really talk to these people and talk about these things. And I'm also extremely happy that there are so many other players like me within the community who are also willing to talk to me about these issues, and it makes me feel glad because a lot of them are a lot younger, and when I was that age, I didn't think like this was a possibility. Like, I didn't really talk to anyone about this. I just kind of like went on by myself and like kind of thought like it's a pipe dream. I'm gonna die at like age 50 or 60 and assume like I'm just gonna always wonder what's it like to live the other life I wanted to live, shit like that. But now, like, teenagers and like young people these days who are going through the same things I did actually have a platform to talk about it, and like a support group and just other people who can pave the way for them. And I'm just like so fucking happy that like I'm there. I'm able to be there for people when there was no one else there for me. And I think like that is so fucking cool. And I don't know what it's like for other formats. I don't know if it's specifically CDH. I think CDH is kind of, the community is kind of great in the sense like everyone kind of gets dogged on a little bit. Like, everyone understands what it's like to get shat on. So then you kind of just like see everyone as an equal, and you're just like, let's play a fucking good game of Magic, and I'm gonna dog on you for your philosophy behind CDH instead of like you as an individual, which is pretty sick. I like that part a lot, and like I'll I think I'll end this video with a couple other notes, but basically, I remember when I was in college, I thought about transitioning. I didn't transition until very recently. I went to see a therapist because you have to see a therapist for hormones, or at least the clinic I went to. They kind of identified some sources of like my pain and shit like that, and just troubling times in my history, and but overall, just like I was a very normal, just like confident person, I guess. I don't know. It was like pretty painless, and I went to the clinic, and this is like they're doing blood work and other tests for me. Like this is like the last thing I need to do to start hormones. I remember the physician came in and he told me that, sorry, no, I'm really fucking up this quote. The quote is like, you're not fucked up. It's the world that's fucked up for making you feel this way. That's a much more elegant way of saying it, and that really resonated with me, and that's kind of why the whole Rebel Sun brand kind of came about, is the idea of being able to push back on all these things, all these like things trying to confine you and tell you what to do and tell you what to like. What I really wanted to champion and push was being able to be yourself, and that's like a pretty generic, like, I don't know, brand value, but that's something I really focus on, is the rebel part, right? Being able to express yourself freely and push back on all these other forces that are telling you to be quiet, telling you to be someone different, when you might have spent a fucking lifetime being someone you didn't want to be, and now it's time for you to fucking come out and show up. That's it. I think that's all I got today. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Life sucks, but it doesn't suck completely, and y'all are great. Peace.